All right, hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's room or hot seat, we have another guest with us, a nurse. She's going to tell us about herself. She goes by the name, is it Shellece or Shellece?
Shellece.
Shellece,
Yeah.
and her name is here below. So we have Shellece with here today with us, and we're gonna explore a major thing that she shared online, and we're gonna see it in the thumbnail of her process to go to Canada, and what she endured, and working as a nurse, how that transition was. How are you, Shellece?
I'm actually doing good. Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you.
Welcome to Empowered RN. So I wanted to feel free to feel at home. You're no stranger over here. So we're both nurses and we're working in an international realm. I'm in the United States and Shellece is in Canada. Now, I want persons to understand too that when I get persons on here, people may think that I'm only choosing a specific group of persons. But I saw you on social media and realized that you had on a graduated gown that looks like UTech. You went to UTech?
Yes, I
Yes.
did.
I'm also a past student of UTech. So I'm not selecting only UTech persons. I want to get that out to anybody that's a nurse. So I want Shellece to tell us about herself, just an overview about yourself.
Hi, everyone. So, as you mentioned, I am Shellece, and it's actually 1 year now since I've migrated from Jamaica. It's like my 1 year
Okay.
anniversary.
Oh.
Um, so, I had graduated from the University of Technology in 2022, and the following year, 2023, I worked as a registered nurse in February, and I only worked for only 3 consecutive months, where I then migrated in May of last year. And now I'm actually working as a registered nurse at this very moment. I'm still working as a personal support worker, which is
Mhm.
basically a CNA in equivalent with to the US. So I'm still working as a PSW. And yeah, it's my 1 year anniversary actually.
Oh, congratulations on your one
Thank
year
you.
anniversary. There are so many things to take in that matter that you're left Jamaica 2022, you said?
No, 2023
2023,
last
and
year.
just last year, and it's your 1 month anniversary. So, your process in terms of Canada, I would ask the question why you choose Canada. But you remember you were talking and you said it was basically family.
Right. So I
That
came to Canada as a permanent resident and not
okay.
necessarily through a nursing pathway.
All right. So your process is a bit different.
Yeah.
Some would say a little bit more easier.
Yeah, fortunate.
And you're a past student of University of Technology also.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. So next question that I wanted to ask you though, that you made mention that you left Jamaica as a registered nurse,
Mhm.
nursing council, everything licensed, and you have a bachelor's of science degree.
Yeah.
So now what struck out to me when I saw you on TikTok
Mhm.
and you made mention that life did not end. I think you said life did not end when you ended up working in a warehouse. And that struck me. I'm like, what? Who, where, when?
Yep.
I like
Warehouse.
to, and you said mentioning right now that you're still working as a PSW. Now, I like to unpack some of that and understand how is it that you left Jamaica, a registered nurse, even though you had 3 months experience and
Mhm.
you're in Canada and you ended up in a warehouse.
Okay, so okay, as soon as I arrived, I was told that I can work as a personal support worker without having to do the certification because I was a registered nurse back home. Because, as you know, with the transition, I had to get my credentials evaluated. And to get that done, while I await that to be done, then I said, okay, let me try and do a survival job, which is the personal support worker job. Okay, so while I was there seeking job, I was not able to get a job as soon as possible as I thought I would. So, so I went. So as I came, when I came up in May, June, July, I was there seeking jobs, and I got a lot of turned down because one, I did not have any vehicle at the time, and they needed persons who actually own a vehicle too. I'm not sure, probably to do door to door. I don't know. So um, I said, okay, I'm not getting any job. Let me try a general labor job. such as a factory job where I would like, do some form of factory work,
Yeah.
survival mode. So I said, all right, let me start seeking that kind of job, thinking that I would actually get a job as soon as possible. That in fact was also hard for me to get. I don't know if it's because of recession. I really don't know. Maybe, but it took me a while to get a job in the factory work as well.
Oh.
So I ended up getting a factory job working with clothes company, packaging and all of that. And from a girl who only worked 3 months in Jamaica as a registered nurse to come into Canada, standing for literally 8+ hours, literally standing. It was horrible, but nonetheless, I gave God thanks and just say, okay, I needed this. I needed this survival job to at least, start my process of getting my credentials evaluated because that costs money. So
Yeah.
I said, okay, let me just go through the motion and just trust God. I literally only spent 2 weeks working at that warehouse because after that I got a personal support worker job where that did not require any vehicle, and it was smooth sailing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A lot to unpack right there. What I'm wrapping my head around is the fact that you left as a permanent resident. So I thought it would be easier for you, unlike other persons who probably do it on their own and all of that. But I know Canada immigration thing is probably different. Now I'm trying to understand. You said that you had to wait to get your credentialing evaluated before. How long was that process?
Okay, so all right, um when I was in Jamaica, actually, I started researching
Mm-hmm.
because I gained my permanent residency in 2022, December. And so I just graduated and gained my permanent residency in December. And I said, okay, let me start researching to see what the process like, what should I start with, and so forth. So when I researched, and I realized that I have to get my credentials evaluated through the Canada's um, evaluation company, which is what that is known as National NNAS, National Nursing Assessment Service.
Yeah.
So I started with that, and in January I created the account. And remember, I started working in February. So I
Yeah.
created the account in January, and there were 4 forms that I had to get that is to be submitted to NNAS. So it was the identity form, the employment form, which I did not have any employment history,
Mm. Oh, yeah.
um, along with nursing council form and nursing education that UTEC has to fill out and send to them. So the only form that I had to send directly was the identity form. So I sent that right away, and um, nursing education aspect, I did that right away as well. So in June, actually, they got everything because there was actually a delay with nursing council because as a new grad, I did not have any license number to present to them for them to like send the form for nursing council to send the form immediately. So that there was a delay in my case where nursing council did not provide me with a license number. So I had to call them multiple times to ask, okay, when will I get this number? And I eventually got it before I migrated, and I got everything in June except the employment form because I did not know if I should go ahead and get that filled out since I only did 3 months.
So that was it, leading up to it. So I want to understand. I'm getting the facts. I getting to understand now because it's sort of different for us when we come to the US.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is sorted out, so you automatically jump into a job.
Yes, so
So
it's
you,
me basically doing everything on my own practically.
yes, so you're doing everything on your own, no
Mm-hmm.
agency, and while there, you still had to be waiting on them before you could find any other job, and the warehouse job was the only job available for you. I'm trying to understand how was your mental capacity,
Depressing, depressed.
knowing that you went through university 4 years, how much millions of dollars, put on the gown. Like how much was the package again? Probably $100,000 now. Take a picture package, walk across the stage and all of that, and know that you migrated to Canada thinking that everything will be paved out for you. How was it like working? You said depression. Any other things you experienced?
To be honest, it was more of being overwhelmed because I had the support system and to know that I just trusted the process, trust God, knowing that everything will be okay eventually. So I just went through the process and just hope that one day I can look back and say, yes, I actually did that, which came to pass.
Yes, and that's what's one thing I was going to ask you too. How was your support system? And you said that that was very good.
Yeah,
Because I know for other persons like myself, I probably would be on a plane back home. I'm just being honest. I am being honest. It's very
yeah,
difficult to. I think probably it would be easier for you knowing that you're only there like 3 months, but you still have your education and all of that. Especially when you're
yeah,
in Jamaica, if you was at a supervisory level and managerial level, and then to go over there and experiencing all of that, and then to
yeah.
end up in a warehouse. But I'm happy that you shared your story online, and this is what I'm trying to bring across is that no matter how you go anywhere, whether you have somebody holding your hand for you, whether you have support or not, there are going to be obstacles that you actually face. So
That's
you,
true.
you actually made mention now that you are at your 1 year anniversary since you left Jamaica, and you are now working as an RN.
Not working as an RN because since February of this year, I passed the NCLEX and I was definitely taking a mental break because since I arrived, I was on the go, like
Mhm.
go, go, go. So I definitely took a mental break and said, okay, let me just rest. And I did that. And now I'm in the process of, sending resume out and hopefully to get
Okay.
a job soon.
Congratulations, my dear.
Thank you.
In terms of doing your NCLEX, everything was done on your own also?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everything was done on my own.
And while doing that, you were still working as a personal
Yes,
support worker. Could you
yes.
explain to persons what a personal support worker is?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, being a personal support worker, I would assume CNA role in the US,
Oh, yeah, you
but
said that.
it's
So it's like,
practically the same thing, but just that we
right.
call it personal support worker.
So how long was it to train for the NCLEX and prepare yourself for the NCLEX?
Okay, so I started preparing for the NCLEX in October actually, and so October, so practically 4 months,
Four
good four
months.
good months, yeah, because I was working at the time and
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, 4 months. I'll say 2 months, like like down pack, two full months. But I actually started gaining with the like being familiarized with the content and so because I left school like 1 year ago basically.
Right.
So I basically familiarized myself with the content and in like 2 months time, closer to the time, I said okay, I need to like get this down pack. So I'll say 2 full months.
Yeah. All right, so that's very good. So, and I think with your experience leaving school so fresh, that also helped too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it wasn't that bad.
right. So my other question is that even though you had your documents still starting out in Jamaica and you cleared up that before you even left, when you came here, you still had to be waiting for everything to be cleared from their board of nursing. And while you even did that, then you had to wait also to take the NCLEX.
Yeah.
All right. So, how was I wanted to understand how long the time frame was it after you got cleared, like when everything came through? Because for us, I think back home in Jamaica, I think the English probably 2 or 3 months, and it doesn't take long for us to get registered when you get a nursing board in the United States.
Okay, so all right, so by June, when they received those three forms, because they had not received the employment form, because I did
Hmm.
not know, seeing that I've done only 3 months, I was not sure if I should go ahead and get that employment form filled out. So I was already here in Canada and I was not sure. So in September, it actually came to me and I said, okay, let me call NNAS and ask to see if they would still accept the employment form, seeing that I only worked for 3 months. And they was like, yes, go ahead. And just went ahead and get that filled out by my supervisor. So in June, when they received those three forms, I'll say it took practically 14 weeks.
Mhm.
So about 14 weeks. And yes, in October, it was my advisory report was completed.
Okay. And why I wanted to ask that because the NNA is similar to what we call in the United States, like the Board of
CG,
Nursing,
yeah, like
like the
CGFNS. Yes,
CGFNS, right?
Joseph Sylvie.
Right, and
Yes,
it does take a time, and we're trying to understand the time frame and all of that.
yes.
The other thing I wanted to ask in terms of that too is like, in terms of fees and all of that, there were a lot of fees that you had to pay out of pocket.
Um, the good thing is that the government reimbursed us the
Oh,
money. Yeah, and they recently upgraded the um the funding as well because
okay.
they closed it just this year March, and they open it again so next year. So that's actually good.
Okay, that
So
is
get
good.
reimbursement for the process.
Okay. And when you were getting your documentations certified, were there anything that they said that you have to go back to school? Because I know some places in the United States do that where you have to go back to school to a
Yeah,
test or so.
and that is how I ended up being that is how I ended up getting my US licensure. Because
Okay.
yeah, because after getting my advisory report, it was it stated that my credentials were not comparable with the Canada's standard.
Mm-hmm.
So they requested me to do an evaluation, which costs money, and or I'm supposed to like go back and do additional schooling. So I did neither. So
So what did you end up doing?
I actually went the US route. So that is a pathway that I took to get the US
Okay.
licensure done and to get the NCLEX done. And by passing the NCLEX, then I'll bypass the schooling requirement. And that is how I ended up just getting my Canada's licensure.
Okay, that is a good move because once
Yeah.
you take the NCLEX, you're
Hmm.
automatically gain entry for Canada, US, and also Australia nursing board. So that is
Yes.
a good
Yes.
route that you take.
So the NCLEX basically allow the education requirement to be fulfilled.
Okay, that is good. During the process of you leaving Jamaica, being in Canada, and experiencing the different roadblocks, and seeing that you had to even somewhat regress sometime in whatever occupation you studied for, did you have any form of regrets?
Regrets. To be honest, no. I was just being optimistic. I had a
Mhm.
positive mindset, knowing that it won't last forever. It won't last forever. So, to be honest, no.
Okay, that is good. And so, in terms of where you are now, you said that you have passed the NCLEX, you're registered with your nursing board,
Hmm.
so sending out resumes and are waiting to get your first nursing job.
Hmm.
All right, and you're just at your 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
So I'm just explaining this to persons to see the trajectory. Like no matter if you have an agency, as I said before, and if you have somebody there already, the trajectory is somewhat different. And especially for Canada
True.
too. For Canada too, I realize that they're very different in everything, even with being so close to the United States. So for you now, you took this process. You had the good, the bad, and the ugly. I also saw that you shared on TikTok of creating an ebook,
Hmm.
and this ebook was to help other nurses who are interested in going to Canada and giving them the outline of the process and the fees that they'll endure. Can you tell us about that book?
Yes. So what I did, I created an ebook highlighting my very own experience, along with some amounts of insight in regards to the process, the requirements, and also the pathway that I took to be both US and Canadian registered nurse. So if you're interested, you can go ahead with this same pathway, and that is how you would definitely bypass the additional schooling or the evaluation, which is costly, to avoid all of that.
Okay. And where can they find the ebook?
Oh, so I do have a link, so you can provide them with the link in your description.
Yes. And your social media handles, as if you go on Instagram, you have a link there. That is the same link
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So once you
In
click
my
on it.
bio, yeah.
All
Once you click
right.
on it.
So I know you spent a short time in Jamaica. You
Hmm.
said 3 months of working in the system. Despite having 3 months, you're still a registered nurse, a bachelor's of
Yeah.
science prepared educated nurse. What advice do you have for any other nurse that is in maybe in the same process like you or getting ready and choosing to come to Canada?
My advice would be that my experience might be different from yours. It's just to process and know that it will definitely get better. And yeah, just to process. It will all work out.
Can they reach out to you if they have any questions or concerns?
Yeah, definitely. You can reach out to me on my social media platform, so Instagram or TikTok at Shellece RN
All
and our
right.
Instagram Shellece underscore era.
Okay. All right. So I know you just started out nursing in Canada also. This is another question I'm jumping in there.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself in nursing? I know that the profession is quite broader as you move to first world countries. So where are you preparing yourself to go now in nursing?
Okay, so that's actually one of the main reasons why I actually agreed to come into Canada because I do see myself furthering my education,
Mm-hmm.
definitely climbing up the ladder and, hopefully getting my master's, not sure in what, but definitely climbing up the ladder, gaining more experience and a lot more opportunities that may present itself along the way.
All right. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And thank you for sharing your story online too, so other persons can see the obstacles that both individuals, such as whether you go through permanent residency route, you have an agency, how the difficulties and the obstacles will be there also.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to drop your ebook and all the things that your ebook, the description, and how they can find you. Your social media handles are TikTok, Instagram, right?
Yeah, just those two.
All right, and it's Shellece Reyes. And if you guys have any questions for her on how
Feel
to
free to reach
migrate
out to me.
to Canada in
That's
terms of
okay.
immigration, wanting her ebook, please buy her ebook online, buy the ebook. She gave some great advice and talked about that. I'm not interested to come to Canada still at the moment. So I will encourage other persons to buy the book so that they can read it and see what it is. But it's a good initiative that you have started and super proud of that, of how you're trying to help other persons, whether
Yeah.
Caribbeans and other individuals. There are some persons on TikTok who have reached out to me and I've recommended them to you to buy your book. So when you get those first
Aw.
orders, please remember Empowered RN and
Thank
send them
you.
there.
I
All
know what
right.
is it like. It's very depressing and it's a struggle. So I know.
Right. I don't want people to understand that it's very different in terms of getting registered for nurses and, the whole process of getting your evaluation and credentialing. Very difficult for Canada. And I think it was recently last year that they opened up the process to get individuals evaluated in the space of 6 weeks, I think. I think they cut out the NNAS and it was the Board of Nursing who was getting
I think it's just for some amount of provinces and
right.
yeah. So for Ontario, that's where I'm residing. But for Ontario, no, it's still 12 weeks or even
So,
more because I
okay.
had to pressure them to expedite my
Oh,
process.
so I know Ontario, Alberta is one of the I'm not sure if Manitoba and British Columbia that are doing that right now in terms of registration for international nurses.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Shellece, for being here and sharing your story. Now,
No
guys,
problem.
Shelley said she was a bit nervous, so she may be a little shy, but we're not taking that from her. She's a Jamaican, also Jamaican, a daughter of the soil.
Mm.
All right. So thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can drop them in the comment section and I'll direct questions to Shellece if you ask me and I can't answer. If you like like the content and you want to see more, you can press like, share, and subscribe and stay tuned for more.
Bye.